Hi, my name is Neville Mackenzie, and I'm here with the Asia Tech podcast. Today, my guest is Alexandra Wallestam.
Yes.
And so, Alexander, can you just introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Alexander. I'm from Sweden. I run a company called Massfluencer, which is basically an influencer marketing platform with about 1.2 million high-performing influencers on a global scale in over 200 markets, where we help brands execute, manage, handle campaigns with the best possible output in influence marketing today that anyone can offer.
Yes, so what is influence marketing?
Well, basically, it means you have people on social media that are not celebrities or like Kim Kardashians. They're more like regular people that has built up a audience of followers because they're good at what they do. So an Instagrammer who loves dogs might, take fantastic pictures, upload videos and content about dogs, and people who loves dogs starts to follow this person because she or he is really, really good at creating this type of content. And all of a sudden, after a few years, this person might have 30,000 followers that are actually following this person because they're interested, genuinely interested in dogs, and they create a form of relationship with this person. So what we do basically is through big data and AI, we identify the right influencers for the right brand. So a dog brand can then talk to this person and ask this person to endorse a new dog brand or whatever it may be, if it's food or a dog collar or whatever it may be. And if the influencer actually likes the brand's product, they will actually endorse it to their followers of 30,000 people that are actually genuinely interested in dogs and actually listens to what this person has to say.
So how do you go about finding these people?
It's basically big data and AI technology. It's mostly done through technology. So we have identified 1.2 million influencers all over the world. So I have 7,352 influencers in Singapore, for instance, where maybe there's about 350 really high-performing mothers with babies, for instance. So high-performing means that they have an authentic followers that are actually engaging with this influencer's content.
So what would be the difference between me, say, Googling or doing a YouTube search for influencers into dog brands and finding influencers that way?
Well, basically, it's more about the man hours you need to spend in order to identify these influencers. It's not like you can go out to Google and say, find me an influencer for a dog brand.
Yeah.
You might get some celebrity or this or that, but the world doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
The world is a little bit more complex. And I think that, multiple endorsement increases consumer action and purchase intent. So if a person tells you, you should go and watch this movie that you trust in some way or have one form of a relationship with, you might actually go and do that. But when 10 people does it, that you have a relationship with, the next time you open Netflix or Spotify or whatever it is, you're actually going to listen to that song or watch that series or that you're going to try it. You don't know if it's not sure that you're going to like it, but you will try it.
Yeah.
And that's what influencer marketing is about. It's about reaching out to the right audience through the right people to actually give the brand a proper chance. Using Google and YouTube and try and find them, it's going to take you years. It's already taken us years to identify the 1.2 million, and then you need to put advanced algorithms in order to identify what type of influencer they are, how many fake followers. There are so many. Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned like fake followers. You mentioned fake followers. Is that a big problem, or is that something that you're able to solve? I mean, how would you solve that?
So basically, it's really interesting. With every new technology or new marketing channel or whatever it may be, new problems arise, new issues that you need to solve. And basically, influence marketing is no different. So brands are facing a hurdle of new things that needs to be solved. Like, how do you identify the right influencer for your brand? How do you make sure the audience is the right audience? How do you make sure that the followers are real and not bought, and so on and so on and so on. So with big data and AI, it's actually solvable. So we make sure that we actually identified maybe 10 million influencers, but we scrapped 8.8 because of they're not high performing, fake followers, etc., 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 and bogus accounts and so on.
So your platform, is it localized or is it worldwide? Is it
worldwide? So we work with everyone from Disney, Unilever, Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
I've done campaigns in Indonesia, Philippines, Brazil, Europe, Australia. I do campaigns all over the world constantly, working with thousands and thousands of influencers, which is also another problem for brands. Is how do I identify every influencer in each market, and what are the prices in every market, and how do you manage hundreds of influencers in multiple markets with different languages? And so, and all of these problems is what we solve.
Yeah. Okay. So this, what you're doing now is quite new.
Yes.
So how did you get there? Because I mean, if you go back, say 10, 15 years ago, there were no such things as influencer marketing. So
no.
How did you get there?
Because I have been on the other side my whole life. I hate the word serial entrepreneur, but I have started numerous of companies within different verticals, and they've all been B2C companies. But my constant problem was growth. How do I grow my company? How do I reach the right audience? How do I get my product out there and get people to buy it or subscribe or whatever it may be? And for the first time, I'm now on the other side, where I'm actually helping other companies to do that. And with that experience, I knew that something was lacking. And I have many entrepreneurial friends that are that are in this space in one way or another. And by looking at the market, I realized that there's a huge gap. So you have 1.2 million people out there that can actually influence people, that actually the real people that actually matters. Not the local TV star that one day was at a show and the next day she got 500,000 followers on Instagram. I'm talking about the real deal. The 19-year-old girl that goes to school with a pink jacket with diamonds on the side. The next day, 4 other girls does it, and the day after that, they all post it on Instagram, and the next school does it, and so on. The real people, the ones that decide whether slim jeans or wide jeans are in this year.
So you mentioned Unilever.
Yes.
So what would be the split between, say, when you were on the other side, you were a startup. So how many small startups do you do as opposed to big companies? What would you say your splits were?
Oh no, it's always been startups. I've been in dating, social media, gambling industry. I've been in sales, started telemarketing sales company. I've been doing almost every.
No, what I meant was for your business now.
Oh,
what would be the split between helping the small startup as opposed, rather than the established companies?
Well, I would say that the majority is global enterprises because they are usually in multiple markets. So the majority is absolutely enterprises and large or medium-sized companies. When it comes to the startups, it's about the long tail there, and it's going to take us a little bit longer before we will be able to do such small budgets.
So are you currently expanding? Or are you raising funds?
We are raising funds. We're doing an early Series A, and we're talking to a very few VCs that we're discussing with. Yes.
So how are you going about that? When you say you're talking, how did you find them?
Well, basically, finding a VC is not just, you go and knock on doors. You need to identify the right VC.
Yeah.
So what can they do for you? So it's not just about money. It's you have to find the right partner that can hold your hand and literally walk you to the exit.
Yeah. So would you have used your own algorithm for that? I mean, to me, it would seem like something that could be used for finding money or people that
No,
can.
no, I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
So can you just tell us a bit more how you got contacted them?
Well, basically, I do it through my own personal network, or if I am attending events, it's a great spot, great venue to meet with VCs because they are usually at every tech event trying to identify new technologies. And and then you just walk up to them straight up and you tell them what you do. And you need to have a very, very short pitch. And if the first pitch, the 30-second elevator pitch, is good enough, they will take the time to listen to you. And then you can do a maybe 5 to 10 minute pitch.
And then how do you find out if they're the right person for you?
Well, basically, before you go to the tech event, you go to the web page, you see which investors are going to be there. You go and you look at their web pages and you see which one of these could actually fit me and what do I think that they can do for me, even with their portfolio companies, because there might be many synergies.
So in the general context of things, how do you, or what challenges have you found? What's been your biggest challenge?
So there is no biggest challenge as in a particular problem. See it as a puzzle. You have different pieces that needs to be fitted together. You have to have the right team. Without the team, you're not going to be able to solve it. A very good entrepreneur once told me that, you can have the best idea in the world, but with the wrong team, they won't be able to execute it. But on the other hand, you could have the worst idea in the world, but if you have the best team in the world, they'll find a way around it and make this happen. So, but then you also have to look at the market. What is your market? Who's your clients? Timing. Is it ready? Are you too early for the market, or are you actually too late to enter the market? You have to have the product. It needs to be working. You can't just launch anything, and all of these components, you have to make them like
Fit
work.
together.
Yeah. And that is the biggest challenge. Coming up with an idea. I meet 10 new entrepreneurs on a weekly basis. They all have great ideas and this and that. And they might even have the team or the funds to do it. But I try to tell them that that's not enough. You literally need every piece to come together. And that was the biggest challenge. But since building so many companies before, I've basically done every mistake in the book you can do. So hence today working with some of the largest enterprise brands in the world, even global agencies like Group M, etc.
So what would have been your worst mistake?
Oh, I think the worst mistakes have been different for different companies. But launching a product that was not ready for it, meaning that in a week's time you get 30,000 people coming to your platform and it doesn't work and they leave, then it's not easy to get them back.
Can you tell us what that product was?
It was called MyCube. It was we were actually trying to build a new social network for privacy, ownership, and control. It was started by my mentor and a very dear friend, which has basically taught me a lot about entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So why are you an entrepreneur? I mean, what makes you feel this is for you?
Well, problems with authorities.
Authority.
Yeah, authority. Yeah. No, I think ever since I started my first company when I was 18. It was a sales marketing, a telemarketing sales company, which didn't last for long. But and then I went to study at the Royal Institute of Technology, where I met with the partners that I am actually having this company with today. I studied computer science. And we started another company while we were studying, which was a gaming company. And that's a typical example of when we were too early for the market. We said that we want to be one of the first independent gaming companies. But at that time, you didn't have any social, you didn't have Facebook, you didn't have Instagram, you didn't have social media in terms of marketing. So basically the only thing you had was YouTube. And if you were lucky, you could get a video go viral. But otherwise, you had to go to the larger corporations, the big gaming companies, and they would provide you with capital to do traditional marketing, or they would do the marketing for you. And we thought that we would be able to pull it off, but we weren't. So we were way too early. Today, there are independent game studios everywhere, because you could do a one-man game studio and just launch your game on your iPhone, and it might have 50,000 downloads the first week, right? So, yeah.
Would you advise somebody to start a gaming company now?
Well, if you have the right idea, and if you have the right team, and if you have the right, how would I say, the right funding, if you have everything in place, like the pieces that I talked about, and you're ready to do this, then yes, why not? I mean, people build everything. If you start a new company that builds shares, I mean, every office space here has different types of shares, so anyone can make it.
So you mentioned team a couple of times. So how do you know if you have the right team? How do you know, where do you go to find the right people? How do you know what to reward them with? Because team often comes up in conversations with entrepreneurs.
I think that is a hard challenge, as is finding the right timing and all the other things. But I think that the best way to meet with new people is by networking. And networking means you have to go out there. You have to, give people yourself. You have to be able to be shown at different events, and so on and so on. You have to be very open to listening to people. And sometimes the right person, you think he's the right person, and he might not actually be the right person. So there are no guarantees. There's no secret sauce. It's just, with experience, you meet more and more people. You get to know yourself better. You get to know what you're looking for. Make sure that you know what you're looking for. So when you meet people, you can ask them questions to see, and so on. So, yeah.
So this is going to be a hard question, I think, Mike. What would you do if, say, the right person's working for another company?
Sorry?
If the right person was working for another company.
I would steal him.
You'd steal her?
Yes, I would.
Offer him more money or her more money?
Well, it depends. So all startups has to grow, and the successful startups actually do grow. And eventually, at some point, you're going to need people, and you have to recruit more and more people. And I mean, whether you go to a headhunter or whether you meet him, it's all the same. You give them an offer, whether it's share options, higher salary, more fun place to work. I've seen people leave, a job with a salary that only people can dream of, for half the salary and a few share options, and then it didn't work out anyway. But at least they took the chance. Yeah.
So where do you see your company going in the future, or where do you see yourself going in the future?
Well, I'm basically a family man with a family, a son, beautiful wife to be, and hopefully more kids. And this company right now, we have offices in Stockholm, we have offices in Singapore, and my goal here is to build up an organization here, take it to the next market, probably the US, and build up an organization there, and make an exit.
So you're based in Singapore?
Yes, it's a Singapore company.
Your family's here with you?
My family's in Sweden, so I commute between Sweden and Singapore.
So a daily commute, or how do you manage that?
Daily would be hard.
Yeah.
I think almost impossible. I think it's not feasible.
Yeah.
But no, I do 3 weeks here and 1 or 2 weeks in Sweden, and that's the way. And sometimes they come to Singapore, of course, for holidays and so on.
So how do you find managing your time there? Is it stressful in some way?
Well, I get 3 times as much work here when I'm alone, because that's what I do. I work, and for some reason, you really understand how much you appreciate having a family when you're away from them. You don't realize the sometimes you take things for granted, and by living away from the precious thing for me, it really makes me understand the true value of life, and that is family.
So when you're here, what would be a typical day for you?
I do 3 to 4 meetings a day, everywhere from entrepreneurs to potential clients, to strategy meetings, and then I literally sit in front of the computer answering email and managing clients at 6 p.m. At 3 p.m. Sweden, the Swedish office wakes up, and then there's a lot of meetings over there, conversations that we need to discuss, and so on. So it's until 11 o'clock every night. I work, and then up every morning at 6.
So how many people work for you here in Singapore? And
well, I just got to Singapore, so we got here in March, April, basically. So it's only me now. So I'm about to build up the organization. So I'm looking for trainees and things like that as well.
Oh, so there'll be lots of stealing going on.
Yeah, I don't want to put it that way, but
you're on a recruitment drive.
I am on the recruitment drive.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Right. So, and in Sweden, how many people work for you in Sweden?
Oh, well, about 5 or 6 people.
5 or 6. So, are you expecting to move your office out here, or
no? We will have one office for Europe, one office for Asia, and one office for America.
Yeah. And how do you see the influencer market growing in the future?
I think it will be impossible to stop it. I think that, if you go and speak to teenagers today and you ask what they want to become, it's not a doctor anymore. They all want to become influencers. So even in Sweden, the public school of Sweden has courses or alignments for influencer marketing, how to become a YouTuber. So it's a year course. So I mean, influencers are growing, and literally it allows people to monetize their, I wouldn't say hobby, it's more about monetizing what they're good at, creating content. An influencer that creates amazing videos or amazing this or amazing that might actually already have a day job as a video producer somewhere or anything, right? I mean, they are professionals. It's just that they are, it's not a profession yet.
So you say, are those university courses or college courses, those influencer courses in Sweden?
I think in Sweden I think it's college courses or so. I'm not sure about that.
So if there's going to be a shift from being doctors and professionals to influencers, who are they influencing?
No, of course you will still have the doctors. I'm just saying that what is booming and what is trending at the moment is influencer marketing. And
do you think it will last? Or
yes,
do you think
I do. Yeah. I think it absolutely has to. It's common sense. The truth is, influencer marketing is not something new.
Yeah,
it's been here since the first since the cavemen. So I mean, we always listen to other people. I mean, just actually, if you think about it, just logically, you have all these advertisement channels. When you watch TV, when the ad comes up, what do? Most people take up their phone, they start doing something else, they walk out to the kitchen. When you do, even if you do pop-up ads in your mobile, the first thing you do is where's the X? Where's the X?
Yeah.
You don't even care about the content. As soon as if you watch YouTube and a video pops up with an advertisement, the first thing you do is you look at that little thing that goes around 5, 4, 3, 2. That's where your eyes are. And as soon as it hits 0, that's when you click it. You don't care about the video. And this is the problem everyone is facing. But with influencer marketing, it's pull marketing, meaning that I have chosen myself to receive content from this person. So whether you do a post that is sponsored by a brand or not, at least it will give the brand that split of a second or it deserves in order to get attention.
So if you, one of the things that one of the issues with online marketing is whether somebody's being paid or not paid, or they're volunteering their influencer advice. So do you differentiate between the two?
Yes. So with our influencers, they always have to say that this is a sponsored post. And there are benefits with that. And the benefit is that when you send out an offer to 50 influencers about a brand, not all of them are going to accept this. And that is the beautiful part of these people, because they actually look at what it is that they need to endorse. And if you're a cat person, and for 5 years I've been endorsing cats, you're not going to go out and endorse a food brand, no matter how much money they provide you. And influencers with 30,000, 50,000, or 10,000, or 7,000 followers and so on, I mean, they don't get paid that much. It's not Kim Kardashian's where they get paid, hundreds of thousands. They get paid, reasonable amount, and they can afford to say no. So they actually only post things that they believe in.
How would you know that? If I logged on to an influencer, how would I know that this person is recommending brand A rather than brand B? Not because brand A is paying them more. How would I know?
Well, basically, if the person didn't like brand A, they wouldn't do brand A, because in fact, every influencer is a brand themselves. So it's taking them. You have to understand that they've been working years to build up this audience, and they're not just gonna destroy their reputation by just posting anything they want. There might be some that do that, but in that case, we will identify them and we would not recommend them for a brand.
Is that something through your algorithm?
Yes.
That you do? Okay.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Yeah. So if a person would have done gambling campaigns or this and that, we would not recommend that person for a brand.
And what about the competition? I mean, what competition is out there?
Well, there are 450 agencies all claiming to do influence marketing, if not more today. But most of them are agencies, and they have their own network of influencers, and in most cases they might have 10,000 or so on, or a few thousand, but basically we have every single influencer in the world that is high performing, and most agencies, they just have influencers. They hardly know who these influencers actually are, because in order to do that you need smart algorithms, intelligence, and you need to do your research very, very, very well.
Yeah. So what makes you better than the competition?
I would say the results that we provide for our clients. So just one of the brands that I just mentioned that we're working with actually had the same question as you, and we did a campaign with them. So they said, we're working with the best agencies in the world because we are one of the biggest enterprises in the world. And I said, great, so why don't we do a test? And we did a test. We had the same budget, and they used their agencies, and if we would have gotten back with 30% better results or so, I would have been happy, but we came back with about 680% better results. So after that, we became a regular vendor. Just to give you an example, it's we haven't done any advertisement, and within 6 months we're already working with some of the largest global ad spenders in the entire world.
And that's through your networking, or is that they came to you?
Actually, people come to us saying that, oh, someone over there told me that I should come and see you, and so on.
Okay. So I think that's all the time we've got.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much for having me. I love this show, and I think what you guys are doing is great for Asia and for every single entrepreneur out there. And I will do everything I can to support it. So
if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
they can go to massfluencer.com, massfluencer.com.
Yeah.
Or they can just send me an email at awallestam@massfluencer.com.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll be putting notes in the show notes. So
yeah, exactly. Send me an email, send me a WhatsApp.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Can I call you Alex?
You can call me Alex.
Or Alexander?
Yeah, that's fine.